She just whips herself into a frenzy and she loses all perspective. God damn it, honeydew? Jesus, why does Cantaloupe think every time it gets invited to a party, it can bring along its dumb friend Honeydew? You don't get a +1, Cantaloupe.
Hello. The whole Bojack honeydew hating thing isn't funny enough to be its own joke, but I feel like people often take the meaning to be, always give someone second chances or don't judge a book by its cover. I think that's wrong. For one, Bojack gets an unbelievable amount of second chances. You could argue that the entire show is about him, continuing to mess up his second chances. And I mean, don't judge a book by its cover is a good sentiment, but if the cover of that book is I tried to sleep with a minor, maybe judge it a little bit, right? So rather than this being a lesson for the audience, I think that the honeydew is kind of more a statement of Bojack's state of mind towards this idea of being okay with being normal or average. In a lot of ways, this guy is larger than life. Like in that reality, he literally is. He's a celebrity. He has so much money, so much power, so much influence. He gets away with a lot of stuff that normal people just can't. He can be an asshole and it's still charming. He gets a book written about him. He can, just leave work and travel to a new state to try to sleep with the previously mentioned minor. And there's really no professional consequences for that. But in his personal life as well, there's kind of this constant idea that he is special. He feels like there's something about him that's different than everyone else. And it's important that people know that. He spends a lot of the show feeling like being an asshole, being the way that he is, being addicted is okay because he's just unique. And really where this hits its peak for me is when he goes to rehab.
Now, if you'll kindly direct me to my room, I would like to begin the process of healing so I can finally stop hurting the people around me, dipshit.
Right away, he's not going to take a picture with the receptionist because he's Bojack Horseman. He's going to sneak vodka into an alcoholic rehab facility because he's Bojack Horseman and his relationship to alcohol is different than other people's. It's special. And even as he's getting ready to leave, he's still upset because now someone else is getting, the fancy room that he had.
He's getting the fancy room.
So in a really not so subtle way, the show is highlighting his need that he really has throughout the entire show, I'd say, to be special, be unique, have something that really sets him apart from everyone else. And I'd say when he gets out of rehab and kind of has his whole issue with the therapy horse, which, quick side note, did you think that the therapy horse was lying when you first watched it? Like, I thought he was pretending to be drunk to make a point to Bojack. I thought that for so long. I don't know if it's the voice acting, like how he's written, the delivery, what it is. It just doesn't, forget it. As he's leaving rehab, he starts to kind of get the idea, hey, I'm not special. I'm special just like everyone else is special, but there's nothing unique about me that gives me a pass. There's no license to be an asshole or an addict. I need to work on this. And he finds his way to an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting where there's honeydew.
God.
In a lot of ways, this meeting is entirely normal. Everyone is there for the same reason. Everyone just exists with this problem. He's not special for having this addiction. He's with a bunch of people that also have it. He's just another piece of the group. And in his personal life, it really can't be special because it's anonymous. He's not supposed to... He doesn't get any credit for being there as Bojack Horseman. He's just a guy, even though, people know who he is. He's a celebrity, but he's just a guy. And by this point, he still doesn't really get it. It doesn't matter what movie set he's on because he's a very famous actor despite all the stuff he's done, despite screwing over so many different people. He's still a very famous actor that has food catered to him, but the honeydew's there. I don't want the honeydew. It's Alcoholics Anonymous. The honeydew's there. I don't want this average fruit. And yes, honeydew is average. Honeydew is not your favorite fruit. Don't tell me that it is. If I see a comment that it is, you're getting blocked. It's not your favorite fruit. I like it fine. It finds its way to a lot of fruit platters because it's easy, it's agreeable, it's honeydew, right? But Bojack is too special for honeydew. He feels like he needs to be more unique than Honeydew all the way up until the final episode. He's worried, so worried to get out of prison and see the public again. And then he realizes, oh, the public doesn't really care as much as I thought they would. I'm not as special as I thought I was going to be. When he shows up, he's worried about seeing Diane because of any possible romantic tension, but he's not that guy. She's moved on from him. She's moved on to a different guy named Guy. It's still an awkward meeting, obviously, because of their history, but whatever he thought made him a unique person in her life is wrong. It doesn't look that way from her perspective. And the most obvious, he says it explicitly, is to Princess Carolyn. I thought I was going to have to save you.
You know, I had this weird idea when I heard you were getting married that I'd get here and there'd be some disaster. And I knew that either I would cause it or just maybe I would be the only one who could fix it.
Oh, and then what? I'd run off with you?
No, I would talk you into going through with it. And it would be like a symbol of how much I'd grown.
And this is where he tries the honeydew, and it's fine. Being average is fine. Being just a guy is fine. And I don't want to get super, into this idea that everyone is average and no one should feel, special about themselves, because that's just not the case. Obviously, when you're in rehab or Alcoholics Anonymous, when you're struggling with any addiction, your relation to it can be different and can be special to you, different than how other people relate to it. But I think where Bojack's idea comes in is that somehow he feels that his pain makes him special in that way. He thinks that because he's gone through the things that he's gone through, there's a special allowance for him to be the way that he is, without being checked. And I mean, that idea goes through a lot of the show. Diane faces a lot of the same stuff with her book. What is this trauma that I have? What is this pain that I've been caused if I can't turn it into something? And it's something that I struggle with as well, and something that probably most of you do. I think that it's one of the big reasons that Bojack is weirdly a personable, relatable character, even though you really don't want to be anything like him. So Bojack spends the entirety of the show fighting this idea that he can just be another guy. He's just a guy with a job. He's an actor. That's what he is. The entire show, he's pushing against that idea. And it makes sense given his upbringing, given the state of Hollywood, this way that every producer and person that can make money off of him pushes him towards this idea of, hey man, you've got it. You're special. Don't worry about all the normal people. You're different. It makes sense why he would fall into that. And the entire time that he's doing that, Honeydew follows him. This reminder of sometimes stuff is just stuff. Honeydew is just a fruit. It's not your favorite. It's not his favorite. It's no one's favorite. Don't lie to me. It's just a fruit. And it's not up until the final episode that he finally gives that honeydew a shot and says, hey, this is all right. This can be good even. Maybe I'm not special. Maybe people don't need me to save them. Maybe I'm just a guy.